And then when I leave, they're like, Ian, I can't believe you left. That's what I always hear. Ian, I can't believe you left. I'm like, why can't you believe I left? I just never thought you'd leave. I'm like, I told you if I make a decision to leave, I'd leave. There's no turning back. It's I have a goal to make and I just leave. That's it.
Right.
I don't let that stop me. And a couple of people called me afterwards and, man, I really appreciate you do that. You made me think a little bit about my life, your actions make me think about what I need to do. I'm like, oh, well, I'm good for something. Damn.
Yeah. That fear can really, there's a lady I worked with once, great lady. I loved her to death. But every time it was her turn to do the meeting, she would call out sick. She would swap.
I know who you're talking about, but I'm not going to say her name.
And our group may have only had about maybe 13 or 14 people.
I know
but
who it
she
is.
was deathly afraid of having to run. Everyone had to run the meeting each month. Somebody different ran the meeting, and she was just deathly afraid of. And I sat there. I watched her. I was like, "What are you?" I couldn't comprehend and understand. It's got to be something from childhood. I don't know, but it was crippling for her.
Right.
And I was like, wow, it's really not that bad if you just did it. But she ended up leaving before she had to ever do it. So she never, ever, she always swapped or she called out or something. But she was like adamantly opposed that she could not do that meeting.
It's that fear you're talking about.
And that was like
wow.
Because for me, it was like, all you do is you just introduce a couple of things and you don't do much. But for her, it was like having to jump off a cliff with no parachute. That's what for her.
Oh my God, I couldn't.
That's how I felt her fear. I could feel her anxiety.
You feel that energy.
Yeah,
right.
that she had and how scared she was about it. So
I felt
guess
way.
that fear. To be that crippled, but and that's what keeps holding people back. So,
it does.
But
do you meet a lot of people like that are just that fearful? They want to change, but because of this fear, they can't.
Definitely, people are just too afraid. One, to actually show people who they are, right? It's human nature to wear a mask.
Oh, yes.
And we allow people to see the version of ourselves that we want them to see.
Oh, yes.
So that's one.
Wow.
And then the second part of that is if we allowed ourselves to feel any emotion, we would actually open up the world so much bigger to ourselves because we're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of ridicule, failure, right? So those are probably reasons that woman you were talking about didn't want to put herself out there. She didn't want to feel those things, but what if we felt it and it was okay?
Right. And that's what I tried to, but I could not get through to her. She was not having it.
Right. I'm sure you tried to explain that to her. But
that's built in.
So with clients, when we talk about that stuff and we kind of knock down those barriers, like it is okay to feel it.
Yeah.
It's okay to be afraid. Do it anyway.
Yep. I agree.
Quality of life is so important. And this is one of the things one of the mantras that I really kind of trying to drill into people, especially in my age group, right? Because I'm in my 40s. So when we look at life and there's more time behind us than there is in front of us, that's when we realize that we really need to have a good quality of life.
Wow.
We can't keep it staying in autopilot.
No,
it's
you're
just
right.
Not going to work.
Because I keep telling myself, you only got one shot at this now. Only one shot at this life.
Right.
Now, if there's an afterlife, so be it. But you only got one on this earth at this point in time. That's it.
Life is not a video game.
No, it's not.
You don't get to come
if you
back
mess
two
up.
or three times.
Right?
Right. You got
that sucks.
You got one.
This ain't Mario.
Infinity Life Contra.
So there you go.
I know we need one of those codes for life.
I wanted to ask you guys, because I heard one of your previous podcasts, and I know, Natalie, you've talked about your love language, which is acts of service. Have you ever done it with the kids?
I have a book, and I gave it to my friend to use that was actually about like your children's love languages.
Right.
So yes and no. I think,
our kids got love languages?
Yeah, they do. Because Noah's is love, and I think his is more touch and feeling. And then my younger one.
Have they ever taken the test?
No, I haven't done the quiz for them. Maybe I should.
You should. There's
Wow.
one specifically
Our kids?
geared to their age group.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's kids and then there's teens. So I asked my kids to take them, and they actually recently just took it again.
Is it online?
It is.
Oh,
It is.
okay.
You just Google 5 love languages, the quiz, and then it breaks it down.
So 5
for the-
love languages quiz. Just Google that.
Google that, and
Okay.
there'll be ones for couples. And there's also for, like I said, teens and kids.
I'd be in. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what our friend did. The one I gave the book to. She said that
Oh, yes.
it made a huge difference
That's
with
right.
her and her teenage son.
That's right.
Because her teenage son, he was going through that,
attitude.
I think that angry phase of life.
Attitude.
And she realized that she was actually kind of nagging him, like the way her approach was. But now she said she's taking the more loving approach, and now she's seeing the changes in him towards her.
Amazing.
So yeah. And I mean,
so that goes back to how they're pre-wired. So he's wanting more independence, and he thinks his mom is nagging, and she changed her approach in how she communicated and showed love. And so I'm sure that made a difference.
Yes, the showing the love, because he was kind of he wants to be a little tough guy.
Oh, he does.
And I think but it was just interesting because I lent her the book, and I had only kind of browsed. I hadn't
skimmed through it.
Yeah, I hadn't got a chance. I mentioned it to her, so she wanted to read it, so I gave it to her. But she said it made a huge difference for her and her son's relationship.
That's good.
I'm gonna have to definitely
try that. And for my kids, so my daughter's going to be 17 this year. So when she was at the Dora watching age, when she was a child.
Yes. I know that age.
Remember that age?
Yes.
So
every day.
For her, it was, her thing was quality time. And then when she was in middle school, I asked her to take it again, and it was gifts. Big surprise, right? Gifts.
All about the stuff. And
of course. Yeah.
Buying stuff at Justice.
Oh,
that was her jam.
Oh, Justice.
So now that she's 16, she just took it a couple of nights ago, and hers is actually words of affirmation.
Wow. So it has. So she's changed.
That's very important too to know.
But that's what you want, though. You don't want to see your kid flatline. You do want to see growth and transformation kind of along the way.
And I want to make sure as a parent that I'm supporting her and showing her love, because I have to actually change my approach, because we're talking about college and we're talking about certain things. And as a parent, I'm trying to help her, but the way I'm saying it, she thinks I'm not supporting her. So I've had to change my approach. And the reason that I brought that up is because when you guys were talking about the kids, and it is the family mess, right? That's the name of the podcast.
Right.
That maybe, and that you don't have enough time. You're trying to balance that time to spend with the kids. Maybe it's not about quantity. It's about quality. If you can figure out what their love language
true.
is.
That's interesting.
Yes, thank you for that.
Hey, never thought about that. Important. Don't charge us for that, okay?
Not at all. That's a freebie.
that is very important.
Find out what they like, and then actually spend the time that you do spend with them doing that.
Right,
and then
it's quality over the quantity.
Actually, even though it's less time, the quality time that's spent seems to them it's a big. It's a damn. Why is it we didn't think of that before? See, that's why you're here today.
That's why I'm here.
Interesting.
Because you may think spending quality time with them, like you said, you took the time, you put your homework on.
Yeah, and I watch because he loves to watch like these cartoons. He has a specific cartoon, and his thing is I like to watch cartoons with my dad.
So
that's
his is probably quality time.
Yeah, like
so it'd be interesting to see.
No, his is time. I mean,
his
for
is
sure,
definitely time.
Like what do you say? I have to take him on spring break somewhere.
We've decided. We realized we had to spend more time alone. Like we don't do enough one-on-one with each child. We always just all go together and we do stuff.
Right, the dynamic is so different when you do one kid.
Yeah. So I think me and Noah went to a soccer game a couple weekends ago, but I told Natalie, I was like, I have to take Samuel out for a day. Me and him have to hang out the whole day. And all Samuel wants to do with me, he doesn't care.
Right.
He doesn't care where we go. He just wants to be with me. So I told her, I'm like, he doesn't care. As long as he's with me, we're doing stuff. That's all he cares about. So that's why I have to kind of spend time with him alone, because that's what he wants.
That's what he wants.
Yeah, he doesn't care about nothing. All he wants is to hang out with daddy. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go do something. He doesn't care what it is. As long as we're driving in the car together somewhere, he gets to listen to the music and be with me. That's all he cares about.
Right.
He doesn't care about nothing else. He just wants the time.
Right.
Without
so simple.
Without his brother. Yeah, without his brother there.
Yes.
That's what it is. Because when his brother's there, he can't. He can't.
The bickering.
Brother,
And he doesn't open either. He doesn't share everything when his brother's there. But when his brother's not there, it's like, Daddy, this and that. Then he starts talking more.
Right.
Yeah. They're two different kids, but man, you gotta.
Right.
They're polar opposites.
You got to cater to the different kids, right?
It's,
and then as parents, that's how we fill their tank.
Told you. So. They empty ours, we fill theirs. Told you.
But you got to take time to fill your own tank.
Yes.
And even relationship-wise.
Were you listening to my seminary teacher last week? Were you in class with me? He said, that's what he said.
Relationship-wise. No falling asleep every night. Yep. Staying up late.
Why are you going to bring up old crap?
That's not old. That's yesterday.
Rita, this week has been rough, right? We've been trying to, because couples have to hang out and make time for each other.
I agree.
But she's been busy all week. Wait. Let me explain myself.
Pump the brakes.
Listen. We've both been busy all week, and I've been tired, so tired.
See,
Taking Noah to soccer practice.
You hear we're both busy, but someone's so tired.
Now, wait, don't jump. Wait, don't 2-on-1 yet. No, listen, let me explain. So, during the end of the week, what happened yesterday?
You went to sleep. You spent your time doing your homework, and then you went to sleep.
All right, Rita, what time do you go to bed at night?
What time?
Yeah, what time is good
I
for you?
would love to go to bed by 10:30, but it's usually about midnight.
Okay, well, argument's done then. I can't have an argument because that's what time we go to bed.
Well, it's
What
usually
time?
around 11. It's around 11 o'clock, 11:30.
Yeah. So this week we've both been busy, extremely
Sure.
busy. So it's Friday. Friday's usually laid back here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was tired. So I was like, how late we were cleaning the house last night. Don't lie.
No. You decided to do your work. And
Yeah,
when
my
you did your
homework.
work, I said, well, I'm going to do a little cleaning because I got things to clean up. So I did that while you did your homework.
Yes.
When he was done with his homework,
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay, well, let's hang out for a little bit. Let's chat. I like to chat
It was
before I go to sleep.
12:30 at night.
I go in the room, lights off, homeboys curled up, rolled over,
Rita, it
curled
was-
up in a blanket.
She was
And
mad.
I'm just like, where my time at? All week,
Right.
you've been staying up late. It's Friday night.
No,
you can at least give me 10 minutes. I like to have like a 10-minute conversation before I go to bed.
It was 12:30. It was. Now I agree with her. No, I'm not even arguing. I agree with her. I probably should have stayed awake and made the 10 minutes. I agree. That's why she was mad at me this morning when I woke up and
So
looked at
then
her face.
this morning he's all wanting to cuddle on me, and I'm like, I
wanted
don't want to
something this
bother with you
morning,
now. It's too late.
and she didn't give me nothing.
I
She just looked
I
at
went
me.
this morning. I'm like, I
Dead in the
don't even
face.
want to hug with you. I don't want to hug you. Just
Dead
leave
in
me
the face
alone.
at me this morning again, looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah,
So now she's gonna be trying to hang out with me later.
No.
We're done. We're
Nope.
done with this.
I ain't hanging out with you. You lost your chance yesterday when I wanted to hang out, but I wanted to chat.
Do you go through? I know we've off topic a little bit, but are those some of the things that happen with you and your husband? I mean, similar,
where you get busy and
where you get
don't
busy,
have time for each other?
or even with you doing your vocation now, do you kind of run to that at times?
So
Or-
early on, because we've also been married, this year will be 17 years as
Yeah,
well.
just like us, yeah.
Yeah. So 17 years married, almost 20 together. And so early on, it was bad. Like we were button heads. We weren't on the same page. We weren't speaking the same love language. So we had a big problem with that. And especially our schedules were off.
Crazy.
He would work,
Yeah.
the night shift. I would work
Oh
the day
man,
shift.
so that makes it even worse.
and then throw in an infant.
Right.
Oh, man. How did you guys must have killed each other?
Oh my God. We were on the brink of divorce for sure.
Oh, see, I
We
told
were.
you other couples were just like us.
I never said they weren't.
Oh,
When we
Yeah.
almost split up, it is what it is, bro. People get divorced all the
it
time.
is hard to stay married.
I don't believe that anymore.
I do. I still believe it, but I see your mindset though. I do agree if you.
Is
Find
my
a
mind
place.
Okay, wait,
is
hold
my
on.
mindset showing?
And why,
No, no.
why is that? Why do you say that?
So we've come to communication is key, right?
I like this. I want to hear this. This is a
Commun-
different show, but let's bring it
Yeah,
in
I
anyway.
forgot to wrap up, but yeah, but definitely let's
No.
finish
Oh,
on
no.
this
I
topic.
want to hear
No,
this.
I want to hear it too.
This is great.
So, well, for me,
I love
right?
this.
So communication is key. And then us working separately on ourselves and then also working as a couple together, we developed a plan. We were able to vocalize exactly what we needed. And to your point, Ian, when you said earlier, when you get focused on something, you do it. So if you know that Natalie needs something and her tank isn't being filled, it's like a flower. It's like a garden. If you don't water it, it's never going to grow. Damn. So you can't expect her to be responsive to you. She's being reactive because you didn't fill her tank last night. But then
I'm sitting here nodding my head.
Get your ass out of here.
but then to the same point though, Natalie, now Ian is not tired anymore and you can't give him the cold shoulder.
Oh,
because,
don't tell me that.
Thank
Oh,
you.
You can't tell me
Thank
that.
you, Jesus.
because then you're not filling his tank. So as a couple, my husband and I, we had to agree to fill each other's tank and be consistent with it. And if one isn't feeling love,
I like his
we
car
talk about
parked. I like his car parked empty with no gas in there. So I can keep going.
Yes.
He's stuck.
Okay, so I know you said we're just about at the end of time.
Oh yes, we're about to wrap up now. Please.
Wait, hold on, Ian. She wants to go to something.
But earlier,
Oh, sorry.
But earlier, I asked each of you to pick a card.
Oh yes.
Just as I like to do this with couples.
I got my
and
card right
so
here.
I want Natalie. I asked each of them to pick a card, and the other one doesn't know what it is. It's supposed to be something that is about their strengths or about how they see themselves. So, Natalie, would you read what card you picked?
Supportive.
Now, Ian, why do you think Natalie picked that as a strength?
Oh, because that's what she does. But she's supportive of everybody around her.
Give me an example.
Her taking care of her mother because her mother's not doing well right now, so she makes a commitment to take care of her couple days a week, but
best
the best she can. But she does, and at the same time, she tries to take care of us by cooking. And I know she gets mad sometimes because I don't cook when I come home. But sometimes Ian, just cook this, and then she leaves and I cook. But she takes care of the kids, takes kids to their appointments. She just, I think, she supports everybody sometimes too much to a fault.